Scaling faster and taking full ownership. Master your sales. Today, we're going to talk about mastering sales, scaling faster, and taking full ownership of success. And to do that, we're going to cover a variety of topics. So buckle in and get ready. We're going to get into some great material. Starting off, we're going to talk about, on the sales side of things, some 10x sales insights, handling complaints as a reactionary defense response. And if you studied Grant Cardone, you recognize those as our RDRs. So, have you ever had a prospect shut down before you even got started? They throw out a quick objection. I'm not interested. We don't have the budget. Just send me some info. They're not real objections. They're what we call RDRs, or Reactionary Defense Responses. They're automatic, they're surface level, and they're excuses people use to deflect a conversation before they've even considered what you're offering. Think like this. You ever walked into a store and before an employee could even say anything, let alone, hello, how can I help you? You instinctively say, I'm just looking. That's an RDR. You didn't actually think about it. It was just a mechanism to avoid engagement. It's defensive. So, how do we handle those RDRs and stay in control? Number one is to recognize them. Understand that when a prospect gives a vague objection, they don't mean it. They're reacting, not thinking. 2, acknowledge it. Instead of getting defensive, go with it. Example, I totally understand, Gary. Most people feel that way at first. And then 3, redirect with a question. Move past their automatic response and get them thinking. Let me ask you, if I could help you find exactly what you're looking for and then leave you be to make your decision, wouldn't it be worth a couple seconds to walk back there together? Pro tip, don't get emotional or defensive, stay in control. The more confident and certain you are, the more likely they are to engage. Mastering RDRs is a game changer for keeping sales conversations alive. Start practicing this today. So that's our RDR, guys. And that's what we're covering today for sales. Now, you're thinking, sales is only one piece of the business. Grant always says we've got to get attention. Coach Gary's always telling me marketing is senior to sales. So let's talk marketing. Here's some marketing insights, a simple social to sale framework. So most business owners think social media equals content creation. But let's be real, likes and comments don't pay the bills. The goal isn't engagement, it's conversion. Here's a 4-step framework to turn social media engagement into revenue. Step 1, comments. Whenever someone engages with your content, respond. Build a conversation. If they liked your post, ask what stood out. If they commented, dig deeper. Start a conversation. Step 2, after you engage in the comments, move them to a direct message. Hey Gary, I saw your comment about my recent post on marketing. What's your biggest challenge with that right now? We're looking to start a comment or an engagement through that direct message. They've already raised their hand and said, hi, I'm interested. Please tell me more. So why would we not reach out? Number 3 is a landing page. So after you qualify them, offer something of value, a free resource, a webinar, a case study that brings them deeper into your world. This is also a great place to offer a newsletter subscription or something else that's similar. Again, we want a landing page to send them to, just a quick link that you can send them over and go ahead and get signed up and get access to that valuable content immediately. Then number 4 is the sale or the appointment. So now once they're engaged, it's time for the ask. Now that they trust you, guide them to book a call, or if you have a product that you can sell direct, to purchase your product. So real world example, did this a few weeks ago, turned Instagram comments into webinar registrations. Webinar registrations turned into booked appointments. That's right, this model works. So a takeaway for you to part with, engagement is just the first step. Your job is to guide the prospect to the next stage. Start conversations, don't just collect likes. Remember, contacts equal contracts, and the only difference is we plug in the R, and the R stands for relationship. So now we're thinking, we've got our minds going. Let's talk a little mindset. So stop dragging your feet on big projects. If you ever had a big project that felt so big or so tedious or so overwhelming that you and your team just kept avoiding it, the real issue isn't the work, it's the perspective. When something feels like a grind, you need to attach it to a bigger purpose. Ask yourself, what impact will this have? Keep going, ask again, and what will that impact lead to? And then repeat this until you hit something so big that it excites you. So real world example of this. My client Steve, and we just coached this week, was dragging his feet about documenting his standard operating procedures or his SOPs. He paid a massive amount of money, went to a 2-day intensive workshop, came out with the need to complete his 10x360 SOPs. But it felt like a boring admin task. So, what did I ask him? Well, why does it matter? He said to streamline my process. I said, okay. What does that lead to? More efficiency, better hiring. Okay, we're getting there, right? We're kind of getting to something. And what does that lead to? The ability to scale. I said, okay, good. Now we're on the right track. And what's the big goal we're trying to scale to? He said $10 million valuation, and he wants to serve 1 million patients. See, suddenly, it wasn't about the SOPs. It was about a legacy. So, if an important task feels like a grind, you haven't found the real why yet. Dig deeper. Now, some current events. I want to cover these, bring in a little bit of the world we live in and see how it might affect our businesses here. And today we're going to talk about cutting waste and how that equals lower inflation. So we've all heard of Doge, not Dogecoin, but the similarly termed, coined Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. It is making waves by aggressively cutting government spending. Now you might agree with it, you might disagree with it, but nonetheless, the following are true. Business owners should care because government overspending equals inflation. And right now, whether you believe in the programs that are being cut or you think they are truly a waste, it is clear by our debt ceiling that our federal government overspends. There's no doubt about it. So when a government spends more than it has, it ends up printing money or borrowing money. Now, the more money in circulation means that each dollar now is worth less. Well, that's what we call inflation. And inflation is a hidden tax. It eats into your purchasing power. So I could say I'm going to take another 1% from you and you got to pay it April 15th or March 15th, or we could borrow or print more, and the net effect might be you end up paying that same 1%, but it's in your price of your eggs. So one way or another, it's a tax. That's why we call it a hidden tax. And I know that's oversimplified, so if we've got an economic major out there, don't rip my head off. I just want to keep it simple for conversation. So what's the solution? Well, when we cut wasteful spending, it slows inflation down. So there's lower costs for business owners, there's more buying power for your customers, and it creates better economic stability. Is this a complex issue? Yes. If you're serious about business, understanding macroeconomics is a must. We can't sit back idly by and be victims and say, oh, woe is me, the economy, this, that, and the other. Be active. Learn what's really going on. And if you feel so inclined, get even more active and get involved. A little personal update now. Flexibility is freedom. Experienced this week. So this week we went to Kalamazoo. It was my niece's first birthday. At a wonderful party. Cutest little thing. She's bouncing around, happy as can be with everything. And we ended up staying actually for 4 days. So we left on Friday. We were able to stay Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then we came back on Tuesday. And so you might be asking, well, Gary, how do you run the business while you're at your in-laws? Well, the same way I run the business anyways. I open up my computer, I log on to the Wi-Fi, I make sure I've got my schedule full of meaningful, intentional actions to do, from coaching calls to group coaching to prospecting to marketing. You probably saw my emails. If you're watching this, you're looped up into part of what I worked on. And coaching means that I've built my business for flexibility. Now, you can build other businesses for flexibility, some easier than others, but needless to say, that's really creates a type of freedom. So I can work from anywhere. All I need is a laptop and Wi-Fi, and we were able to spend time with the family and keep pushing forward on the business. So if you feel like you're chained to your business, or you don't own a business, you own a job, those are one and the same, right? If you're chained, even if you own the business, you really own a job. If you're in a job, well, you're in a job. So build something that works for you, not against you. And if you're not sure how to do that, stay close. We're going to cover that. Last little bit, I've really been focused on, in our 10X Super Life 7 pillars, my spiritual pillar, and I want to share just a little bit of faith in business. If you're not interested in this part, go ahead and skip ahead. I don't want to push anything on anybody, but what I do want to share is some of the insights that I've been learning and focusing myself. So faith in business, the responsibility of success. So success isn't just about making more money, never has been, never will be, but it's about creating abundance that serves a bigger purpose. So what happens when you win? Well, your family wins. You create security, options, and legacy. Particularly if you have children, it's extremely important. I see that with my daughters every day. Your community wins. You have more resources to help others, whether it's giving more charitably, being able to have flexibility of your time, maybe to give your time towards a cause. And the greater good wins. So if you really want to make a big impact, you're able to. You can give, build, and impact lives. So as a takeaway here, success is a duty, not an option. Right? Grant talks about that. But I think in our faith, or in my faith at least, I see that come through too. It's a responsibility to create wealth, but that serves something bigger than yourself. So it's not about greed, but it's about creating abundance so that we can go out and serve others. So with that, thank you for listening. I very much appreciate you being involved in the Business Edge, my newsletter on LinkedIn, as well as on my own site. So if you're seeing this on LinkedIn, make sure you're subscribed to the Business Edge. And if you're watching this anywhere else, you need to go over to www.micugrowth.com/newsletter and make sure that you get this content right when it comes out, served straight to your inbox. Also, and sorry for the LinkedIn folks, we've got an exclusive training session. It's going to be about 7 minutes long every week. This week we talked about the 7-step 10X sales system, as well as the domino method, which if you've never heard that before, don't be surprised. Just learned it from Jared Glant the other day, and they just figured this out, him and Grant, in the last month or so. So this is brand new cutting edge material, literally, honestly, bleeding edge. Nobody has been taught this yet. So you've really got a special treat. If you're not subscribed, you need to be. And if you missed that edition and that special access, send me a direct message. I'll send you a special link to that video so you can go ahead and listen to that training before the rest of the world even gets their hands on it. So another way to stay involved is I've got a webinar coming up in February here. It's going to be Thursday the 20th at 10 a.m. Eastern. So if you're listening in 2025 in February and you're thinking to yourself, man, I'm not doing anything at 10 a.m. on a Thursday, great. Come on over to the webinar. If you're thinking to yourself, I am busy doing something, then let me ask you this. Wouldn't you like to learn how to build wealth and love your business? Yes, I know it's a little cheesy with Valentine's Day being in February, but nonetheless, we are going to cover some incredible material to help you 10x your goals, optimize your work life, reach and attain and build financial freedom and revenue growth strategies to dominate 2025 and make it all happen. So with that, be great, keep reaching for the top, and I hope you have an amazing, incredible 10x rest of your day.